The City Dionysia, an ancient Greek festival where plays fueled public debate through shared experience of pity and terror. Playwrights unveiled new comedies and tragedies. The best won prizes, like the Olympic Games. At the 1968 Mexico Olympics, Mexican hurdler Enriqueta Basilio became the first woman in history to light the Olympic flame. As we begin, imagine theatre still carries its essential Dionysian flame. Enriqueta Basilio is sprinting across the stage of your mind, lighting the fire. The building is burning, billowing smoke. 3 women appear. Flashback. Rosa, a contract cleaner from Mexico, sprints through a service entrance into the university's new building, changing into her overall. It is 4:30 a.m. If a tree falls in a forest and no one is around, does it make a sound? If a woman's job is to clean a building when it is empty and no one sees her, does she exist? Albert Einstein once asked Niels Bohr whether he believed the moon does not exist if nobody's looking at it. Bohr replied that he would never be able to prove that it does. The moon and the woman are an infallible conjecture. Their existence cannot be either proved or disproved. And that fallen tree is taken to a factory to be manufactured into 3-ply quilted toilet tissue. One night, an exhausted employee mistakenly shunts 144 rolls of newly manufactured premium quilted paper into 2-ply economy tissue multipacks. As Rosa starts her shift, cleaning manager Mr. Blunt, bulky in his hooded jacket, grabs a roll of this rogue toilet paper and hurries towards the basement. He does not notice a woman in an animal print coat. It is early March 2020. The story begins.
It can't be done, they said. Too expensive, Louise. Madness. This isn't Sweden or Germany. No one cares if a building breathes. Our students want Costa coffee, a cheaper bar. 2 fucking words, lads. Greta Thunberg. Greta fucking Thunberg cares about sustainability. So do our students. So do I. Form follows function, Mies van der Rohe. I will survive! Gloria Gaynor! Speech, information! Future! Scissors, colleagues, guess, ribbon, snip, tweet, smiley face emoji, more champagne.
Lou drains her bottle of Prosecco, slumps on her desk and passes out. Blackout. Minutes? Half an hour? The sound of a vacuum cleaner?
Christ!
Ay, Dios mío. Lo siento mucho. Sorry. Buenos días. I come later.
No, wait! It's okay. God, this is a waking anxiety dream.
La verdad es que no la entiendo, señora. I clean now?
Yes, please. Incredible how much rubbish there is after 2 days.
Increíble.
Excuse me, I'm drunk. I didn't come in yesterday. I support your strike. Solidarność.
Solidaridad? Sí. 2 días. It's finished today.
I should have cleaned up myself, but that would make me a scab, rather than someone who sneaked in drunk to avoid crossing your picket line and fell asleep on a plate. What's your name?
Rosa.
Thank you, Rosa.
Rosa carries away Lou's accumulated rubbish. Lou studies her whiteboard, a multicoloured display of post-it notes for today's speech. So many ideas.
The opening of a new, not just a new university building, not another new property development, £67 million of real estate, not 1 but 3 international prizes for sustainability and green design. Over 1,000 new study spaces for students, 350 desks, 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. Too much information. Fuck. Greener. Young people, creativity, optimism, change. Bright, green, future. Don't make it too obvious you want the job. Make them want to give you the job. It's all right, Rosa, come in.
It's Jess.
It's 4:45 in the morning.
The library is open 24 hours this term. I saw your light. Did you get my emails?
When?
Every day the last 2 weeks.
Look, this term, the opening today, the strike, which I support. I was talking to our cleaner, Rosa, just now.
Have you got a couple of minutes?
Yeah, but thing is, digital picket. I can't, in all conscience, do university work on strike days until 9 a.m.
You're working now.
On my speech for the building opening, arranged months ago. I was at a friend's birthday and my papers are all... Look, I don't need to justify myself to you.
Well, you do a bit. You're my tutor and you haven't seen me all term. It's about my outline, my title. I think it's probably going to change, but at the moment I think it might be something like Subterranean Cities.
Subterranean? As in underground?
The hidden movement of urban migration through cities, under the surface, and sewage. The big pumping city sucking people in and pushing waste out. Concrete and pipes and constricted spaces like we move through tunnels, like waste, blockage. Yeah, not so much free movement when you look deeper, confinement and shit and... I'm not sure about my conclusion.
I'm finding my mind dangerously blank here. Jess.
I'm gonna fail, aren't I?
Okay, firstly, interrogate more widely. Megacities, some fascinating work on Rio, Mumbai, homeless people living literally underground. Pick a novel case study. Abuja, Nigeria, replaced Lagos as the capital in 1991, the first completely planned modern city in West Africa. Bring in the cement industry. Grey gold. Did you know a popular wedding present in Nigeria is a bag of cement? Researchers since the early modern period have sought to categorise urban waste, but waste is the byproduct of all human interaction with matter. Sustainability is not only good for the planet, it's good for the soul.
Okay, where is that for?
That's from my speech.
I thought you were talking about my dissertation.
We were, but look, Jess, it's Jesus o'clock. You're coming to the launch today?
I can come after my prep shift. I better go back to the library.
Good idea, let's both crack on.
Actually, the other thing I wanted to ask is, when I've done my master's and if I can afford it and get onto a PhD, where does that leave me?
And that has to do with why you're doing your course in the first place.
I switched from history because I can't change the past, but we can change the future, right? I'm feeling a bit isolated and lonely, to be honest. Thought I'd meet people, be part of all these ideas. I don't feel part of anything.
I came here in the 90s. Huge culture shock, and that was the good old days.
Lou opens the door for Jess, touching her arm gently to propel her out.
Have you travelled? If your dissertation is on urban migration...
I had sort of a gap here, but really it was just working for a family.
Save up. Beg, borrow, discover the world. Travel and talk to people. You'll be fine. Talk more later. Bye.
Another office. The mirror image of where Lou stands by her whiteboard, reordering post-it notes. It is Rosa's first shift back after the 2-day strike plus weekend. Her hands fly over the wiping, dusting, bin, bag, tie, lift, bag, open, line, fold, go. Rosa has cleaned every room on this floor for 5 years. She has never met the users of these desks, keyboards, books. Nor have they given Rosa, their cleaner, any thought. She, like the dirt she removes, is invisible. Hello, can I come in?
No hablo inglés, señorita. State's office, sótano, down. Mr. Blunt, manager. State office, see?
Can I ask you about your work?
To me?
Can I ask you some questions about your work? Just 2 minutes about what you're doing. Can I record?
No record.
How long have you worked here?
No time. No hablo inglés.
Have you been in London a long time?
What is this?
It's for my dissertation.
is for you?
Yeah. Someone else will mark it.
No.
You could be quoted anonymously, no name.
My name is Rosa.
I'm Jess. You enjoy your job?
Mi profesora. In Mexico, a profesora.
Teacher?
Sí. No, university, small children. Jardín de niños.
Kindergarten?
Yes, kindergarten. I cannot teach here.
Why not?
My calificaciones,
Qualifications?
no good here. I want to improve my English. My daughter, 7 years, she speaks much more,
Much better.
much better English.
Your daughter's in London with you?
If my daughter is asleep, my friend, vecina,
Your friend, Vecina.
habitación vecina.
Next door, your neighbour.
¿Tú hablas español?
Sí, un poco.
My neighbor can watch my daughter when I am working. When I am arrive home, she will wake up, she's cool, and one day she study here. It's time I work. Nuestro gerente, nuestro jefe, he is...
My tutor too. Me professor like this. I could be anybody. My dissertation outline is due next week and she says I should go travelling. Rosa, if you had to say one thing about your job you like, what is it?
Dinero. London is so expensive. We have the Queen and royals, all very expensive.
Do you think you'll go back to Mexico?
Oh, I love Mexico, but a lot of killings, femicidio.
Femicide, killing women.
See, I'm scared for my daughter.
Can I do anything to help?
In Mexico?
Cleaning.
Ah, no. My boss, muy exigente. Mr. Blunt, he's everywhere, como un fantasma, con 1,000,000 de ojos.
A million ears.
Oh. Donde el diablo puso la mano, queda huella para rato. Es mucho más sucio de lo habitual, nadie limpió. It's why we start early today. Mr. Blunt says me, ¡Hay un bloque en el baño, Rosa! You go now, I clean.
A blocked toilet?
Sí. Ugh, el olor me hace vomitar. Es castigo. Or strike. We go on strike and then we work more. I get sick. No work. No pay.
That's disgusting.
It is disgusting. No overtime, no horas garantizadas. We strike 2 days. No pay. Strike more, maybe no job.
They can't do that, can they?
Rosa zips her mouth. Jess watches Rosa wheel the floor cleaner away down the corridor until Jess is alone. In the bowels of the building below, the sound of a toilet flushing, the subterranean choke of pipes. Later, maybe half an hour, we are back in Lou's office. All 3 women are here. Notes and post-its litter the floor. Rosa notices that they are everywhere except the bin. Lou stares at Jess, her face a picture of furious disbelief. Jess turns to Rosa.
Have you heard of Extinction Rebellion, Rosa?
Revolution?
Environmento Protesto.
This is the most sustainable fucking building on any campus in Europe.
Rosa, some students who care about the environment think the new urban centre is all show. Too little, too late. They planned the protest at the launch. My housemate invited me to a meeting. I couldn't go because I have to work.
So you thought you'd just shut down the entire fucking building instead?
It's not my fault. After you slagged off my outline...
Wait, what? I critiqued your incoherent garble.
You said, travel, talk to people. So I talked to Rosa, who's in the Independent Workers' Union of Great Britain, and then talked to my housemate.
Rosa, as I said, I am completely supportive of your strike and all the cleaners' demands to be brought back in-house.
Oh, no. Protest is nothing to do with me.
Rosa gets no overtime or sick pay, and they're making her clean blocked toilets. Rosa, I messaged my housemate after the interview with you. They want to support you, so they've occupied the building.
It's no support. It's bad for us. Very bad.
Take Rosa downstairs and say she wants them to leave.
No quiero filmar mi cara.
They're live streaming the occupation.
Se verá como que los dejo entrar. Mi protesta.
Lou picks up a phone, spools through Instagram. Dawn sunshine flooding the glass atrium. Fresh-faced young women, radiant, serenely defiant. It looks so beautiful. Hashtag our space.
Jesus Christ. They should be celebrating our launch, not trashing it.
Why don't you talk to them?
I will, as soon as I get out.
But if you're here...
Yes, they'll know I crossed the picket line. Look, the strike is over now. I was drunk. My papers are here, and the launch isn't part of my job description anyway. As I told you when you turned up demanding a tutorial.
Ella es tu tutora.
See.
Okay. Lou sits on a wooden chair by the door. Last year, Lou asked the library if she could borrow it for a photo shoot in the new building. Sure, said the librarian. I need to check with my manager, come back later. Later, the manager said fine, but she has to notify estates to get authorization from stores for the chair to be moved. Lou received a text confirmation to collect the chair, but by now the photo shoot had finished. But because somewhere along the line her initial request was incorrectly logged, the library couldn't take it back. Officially, the chair no longer existed.
I don't want them to think I'm against the protest. Then again, if Rosa says the occupation is bad...
See?
It's not bad, it's misguided. Go down to the back door and text me if the coast is clear.
What back door?
It's cleaner's entrance. Conozco el camino. I show you.
Say a woman takes on the job of managing her department's bid for a £67 million development. If an architect's name is on the bid, and the bulk of her labour is extra overtime outside her contract hours, is she managing the project at all? If the architect takes the prizes and the university takes the profits, does her labour even exist? Lou transfers her post-it note from the whiteboard onto a floor plan of the building. Her phone rings, hubbub, crackling, distant voice.
Jess?
It's not Jess, it's Simon Castello, academic, broadcaster, cultural icon.
Professor Maloney?
Who is this?
It's Simon Costello. I'm at Berlin Brandenburg Airport, about to board a flight to London for the launch, and just heard you're occupied.
Sorry, you heard what?
You didn't know this?
It's nothing, it's all fine.
So the launch is going ahead.
Of course it is. Get on that plane and I'll look forward to meeting you at last. Okay then, bye Simon. Shit.
Lou grips her phone. Moments pass. If Jess had phoned, Lou would have already left. If she'd followed Jess and Rosa, Lou would never have made the next call. Of ancient Greek theatre, Edward Bond says there is a division between the social problem and the self problem. Simon Costello is coming today to meet her here.
Hello? Malcolm?
Yeah? Mr. Blunt, Sojuco contract manager, portering, security, cleaning, estates. His voice echoes as if inside a metal pipe.
Who is this?
It's Professor Maloney, Malcolm.
Professor who did you say?
Professor Louise.
Louise, you at work already?
I've heard some students have occupied the new urban centre.
What? Who told you that?
It's on the news, apparently. Someone phoned me from Germany.
One of the cleaners let them
No, I don't think
Of
so.
course it is. I'll find out.
I'm sure it has nothing to do with them. My concern is the launch.
You called the police?
You think I should?
Up to you. Coppers might get them out if you're prepared to make a complaint against students. But where's their incentive for urgency? If one of our cleaners let them in, there's no damage. Peaceful standoff could last days. That Greta Thunberg is a lot to answer for, eh?
What would removing the protest quickly involve exactly, Malcolm?
It'll be extra overtime as I'll need to pull in lads from other areas. Can't tell you exactly how that stacks up yet as hours. Presumably you want them cleared fast.
I should talk to them first, the students, I mean.
Entirely up to you. How soon can you get to Gower Street?
Well, it's 5:15. If I leave home now, half an hour?
Right you are. I'll put my boys on standby for 6:30.
As Lou hangs up, the walls of her office collapse outwards and hit the ground. Trailing her floor pan and post-it notes, Lou flees downstairs. Somewhere below, the young women are singing. Lou runs into Jess and Rosa, who are hurrying up.
2 of the women have glued themselves to the doors.
Service door, an emergency. It's dangerous, no?
Talk to them, Professor Maloney. We're trapped.
The dry grasp of claustrophobia triggered by the word trapped, Lou unfurls the floor plan of the building and sweeps away her post-it notes, sweeps away her vision from the stark lines of the building design. Waste is matter, out of place. We obstruct each other.
Come to the university built around you. Our prize-winning buildings deliver student satisfaction. Our prize-winning buildings deliver student satisfaction. World-beating facilities, global excellence. Your future today.
All our products are tested for their environmental impact because we know you care enough to pay someone else to do your cleaning.
Sodyuco is a global player in logistics, whether large or small, public or private. In today's competitive environment, your company needs its workforce to be capable, flexible, available at short notice to hire and fire. We specialise in non-English speakers who won't ask questions or complain. Cleaning, security, extraordinary rendition. Whatever you're up to, we won't say a thing.
Lou scours the plan of the sub-basement, searching for a way out.
At least go and tell them you're here.
Not an option.
Would anyone like an orange?
Jess fetches a bin for the orange peel. Rosa takes a new bin liner from her roll and hooks it on her trolley. She and Jess share the orange.
When I was a little girl, mi madre recogió naranjas for her job. Valenciana. Mi madre trabajó como una esclava. Sometimes she'd bring home. Hasta que un día I say, no traigas más naranjas a la casa para mí. Soy alérgica. My mother knows I am not allergic. She is sad. I love oranges.
Rosa is a teacher,
Professor in Mexico.
but her qualifications aren't recognised here. It's so unfair.
Trabajas como una esclava, you. Big carga de trabajo. You are a success.
And not at this rate, I'm not.
Sí, I clean your premios, your prizes every night. 5 years. More? You have high position now. You, jefe.
She means, why don't you sort it out since you're in charge?
She doesn't mean that.
Yes, I think. Nice office, nice trips, mucho dinero.
The trips are part of my job. There's a route from the sub-basement through a vent under the atrium.
So basement? Yes, I clean this.
You don't clean the sub-basement.
Yes, Mr. Blunt, he said today hay un bloqueo en el baño.
She's supposed to unblock a toilet.
No, that would never be her job. No one goes down there.
¿Sí? ¿A dónde están las tuberías? I'll show you the way.
Unlike the main staircase, open, floating planks of blonde wood, the service stairs are cramped and dark. Lou feels her breathing quicken, the constriction in her chest.
If it was up to me, we'd all clean up after ourselves.
Then you'd have no cleaners, so Rosa would be out of a
We
job.
wouldn't need cleaners if we managed our own waste.
If you become head of school, will you stop being my tutor? Because this debate we're starting to have now is actually interesting.
Down into the sub-basement. Sound of footsteps on metal as if inside a large metal pipe. Blackout. They and we are fast approaching the end of Act 1, so brace yourselves for an incoming visual narrative hook as motion sensors trigger the lights to come on.
Oh, is that a blocked toilet?
Oh, we need to get this sorted or they'll smell it in the atrium.
The protesters.
For the launch. Rosa, I'll help you unblock the drain.
I'm going to take pictures of these pipes for my dissertation. I'll write all this up. Rosa, look serious. That's great. Professor Maloney, you look totally freaked out.
Is that some kind of shrine?
What is it?
Like an altar to the abandoned self. LED torches, a mirror, piles of folded clothes, an imposing ziggurat of toilet paper, like an igloo, around a huddled form.
Dios mío, un cadáver?
Is that a dead person?
Hello? Are you all right?
Don't touch him.
Oh, it's a sleeping bag.
Looks like a homeless person sleeping here, though.
Dios mío, es Jesús que nos ha seguido hasta aquí.
Rosa, do you know who this is?
It's nothing to do with me. Es un fantasma.
She says it's a ghost.
This is a brand new building.
Ghosts migrate.
In fact, it's Malcolm Blunt, who's sleeping in the sub-basement. He's discovered, since his wife chucked him out, that a Sod UCO supervisor doesn't earn enough to live near a central London university. 6 years from retirement, he's come to rely on the incentive bonuses he gets for sanctioning staff. Blocked toilets? Blame the cleaners. Or the management deputising for cleaners during the strike. Anyway, this story isn't about him.
Friday the 21st of November 2008. London Mayor to launch review into feasibility of granting amnesty to estimated 400,000 people living illegally in capital.
Boris Johnson will tonight call for an earned amnesty for thousands of illegal immigrants living in the capital. The Conservative London Mayor is to launch a review, expected to report in 2 months' time.
People who have resided legally for years in the capital should have the chance to earn their citizenship in order to play a full part in London life. Although he has no legal powers over immigration policy, Johnson said in a pre-recorded interview with Channel 4 News that he wanted to lead the debate on the issue.
Johnson first floated proposals for an amnesty for long-standing illegal immigrants during his mayoral campaign.
He is not committed to lobbying the government on this, but he has committed to explore the issue fully. Roughly 400,000 people living here illegally are unable to be themselves or contribute to society to pay their taxes.
Monday the 22nd of December 2008. Mr. Barnbrook has asked about the proposed amnesty for illegal immigrants.
Let us use some common sense. If there is an illegal immigrant here, how by the fact that they are illegal do you know if they have been here for 2 years or for 2 seconds?
Can I just say that these are questions that obviously will be the subject of the review.
Let me put the question another way. Cynical people might suggest, Mayor Boris, that you are actually collecting your next lot of votes in earlier than 2012.
Tuesday the 10th of March 2009.
Boris Johnson, the London mayor, renewed his call yesterday for an earned amnesty for illegal. Boris Johnson, the London mayor, renewed his call yesterday for an earned amnesty for illegal migrants. The interim study by the London School of Economics, commissioned by the mayor, estimated that about 450,000 would qualify for an amnesty. The interim study by the London School of Economics, commissioned by the mayor, estimated that about 450,000 would qualify for an amnesty.
Saturday the 25th of January 2020. A proposal floated by Boris Johnson to introduce an amnesty to undocumented migrants, which he previously said would help another Windrush scandal, has been quietly scrapped by the government.
The Prime Minister, who initially advocated the idea when he was London Mayor as an earned amnesty for illegal immigrants, reiterated his support for the move on becoming leader of the country last July. However, when asked about the plans by Labour MP Dr Rosanna Allen-Khan in a parliamentary question this month, Home Office Minister Victoria Atkins said, "The government remains committed to an immigration policy which welcomes and celebrates people to the UK through safe and legal routes, but deters illegal immigration." Campaigners said rowing back on the proposal would leave migrant workers without vital protection, which they said would be increasingly important after Brexit to prevent labour exploitation.
Brexit is prompting a redesign of our immigration system. Undocumented people are at far greater risk of severe exploitation.
The women plough on through the stink of excrement as they near the blocked toilet. Lou wonders if this is some sort of penance for not talking to the protesters, or for strike breaking overnight. She must recover a positive headspace. This is a new building, one of the greenest in Europe. There are no ghosts here.
It's funny.
What? That we thought we found a corpse that a homeless person has to live
It's
here.
funny to think that above us, the public area extends 5 floors.
It's not really public though, is it? We need a student card to get in.
Sí. El área pública has a different company for cleaning. Hacen catering y hospitalidad y tienes que hablar inglés o ser europeo.
Oh, that's disgusting.
The blocked toilet, which Mr. Blunt instructed Rossa to clean. Lou goes in and reports back that both cubicles are overflowing, with the student occupiers all using one toilet directly above. It is a health hazard. More important than ever that Lou gets out, finds a signal on her phone. Lou checks her watch, checks the route, and they press on. Through twists and turns, at last to the underfloor void on the architect's plans. A vast area, the size of an auditorium, left empty to allow ventilation for temperature regulation. In fact, a densely packed forest of discarded chairs.
¿Qué es este lugar?
No lo sé. It looks like a concert hall with all the seats piled up.
Parece que un huracán lo golpeó.
Like a devastated world. No people. Dead trees.
I don't understand. It's supposed to be empty. Wait! Did my phone ping? If I can get a signal, if I climb on one of those stacks of chairs. Jess, can you just. Rosa, don't it go? It's ringing! Hello? Malcolm, can you hear me? It's Louise. Ah, fuck.
Jess, nosotros nos tenemos que ir. Look, el piso.
Oh god, there's water coming in.
Help me down.
No bajes. Permanece de pie. Sube a la siguiente pila de sillas.
Keep climbing, keep going, she says.
Nosotras tenemos que cruzar aquí hasta esas escaleras.
Seriously, Professor Maloney, head for that door.
Esto debería llevarnos de vuelta a las escaleras de servicio.
We don't want any route that takes us back into the building.
No tiene mucho sentido si nos ahogamos.
Look, can we speak English, please?
Pardon?
There's no use us all shouting out things we can't understand.
I can understand.
You weren't both speaking Spanish in the office, and now it's even more important for us to communicate.
Lou has been troubled since she left home yesterday. About today, this building, her career. Even before this headlong descent into chaos, the interruptions, half-finished speech, not to mention that her own students have occupied the new urban centre before it's even opened. That many of them distrust and despise everything the building represents. Who are they? What do they want? And indeed, who is she? What does she want? How, at this grim nexus in her trajectory, can she achieve it? A crisis of identity, compounded by a loss of space, time, status and control, with claustrophobia kicking in as if the very architecture chomps its sustainable wooden fangs around her heart. But more than this, the sensation that, if she is indeed soon to join management, she must formulate some defence of, for example, why outsourcing might be efficient, why flexible staffing so that staff can study, work or accommodate childcare is good. That to avoid waste, we must embrace difficult conversations. She would announce a review, a consultation for students, staff and unions.
Professor Maloney, we should move.
Do you not have a family? Because I do. You go now, quick.
The women are forced back by the rising wastewater, up the maintenance stairwell towards the building's ventilation unit. It's hot here and dry. Lou finds a bottle of sparkling water and a bottle of Sauvignon Blanc in her bag. They pass the bottles around.
I'm going to pop back down. I need a wee.
You won't be able to get through.
I'll pee in the dirty water. I know it's disgusting, but I've got to go.
It's funny. I travelled in Argentina and Latin America in my first degree, but I never properly learned the language. What I said about speaking English.
I am your cleaner. He does not make my language trash.
No. I know that.
It looks like the water's going down.
We should be able to climb across the chairs in there to access the main duct from here. There's an outlet for all the ventilation shafts into... What time is it now?
6:05.
Shit.
At that moment, in the university cafe, Mr. Blunt is assembling his squad of fat white men, waiting for the caterers to provide tea. Rosa has been troubled for days. Over and above usual fears, money, work, travelling alone at night, what will she do if she gets sick, her daughter, her future, her mother at home? She thinks of that morning in 2008, newly in London, 19, and on direct contract as a cleaner at SOAS. Everyone was happy. The first strike by university cleaners had been long and difficult, but they had won. Her friend, Maria, reads the English paper. The London Mayor, Boris Johnson, has made a speech about earned amnesty, work to remain. He's telling migrant workers to register for the promise of an automatic right to stay. Maria shows her a photograph of a fat, yellow-haired man holding a sign, "Strangers into citizens." They are back, in the architectural void.
This is bad. Estos fantasmas son míos.
Cleaners' ghosts.
Not here. Las limpiadoras se declararon en huelga en 2008.
2008. Did you know that, Professor Maloney? There was a cleaners' strike in 2008.
You weren't outsourced then?
No, in-house. So a strike for afiliación sindical. Unison. Living wage.
And you won?
Tal vez sí, tal vez no.
Lou goes down to check the water level. As they follow, Rosa tells Jess in Spanish how after a successful campaign, SOAS cleaners were called to an emergency meeting on their first day back. When all were assembled in a large lecture theatre, 40 immigration officers, who had been hiding in another part of the building, entered and blocked the doors. The cleaners were detained. 11 were removed from the UK immediately, not even allowed to go back to their accommodation to get their clothes, photographs and letters from home. By the time Jess is standing between Lou and Rosa, looking out across the filthy, sodden forest of broken chairs that feels like the earth is dying, Jess is very troubled indeed.
Okay, look. This is what I don't understand. Why are we here? What are we doing?
We're trying to get out.
Why?
Because it's my responsibility to get a handle on the situation.
Why aren't you with them? Where are the people in your vision of sustainable things?
My vision is all about people. The students, the lecturers.
A devastated world. Dead wood. No people. A couple of chairs are bobbing in the distance like being touched by ghosts. This is not a forest, and it's not the same as global warming, but looking at those chairs, I think, where is everybody? If we're supposed to value the things we use, we should value the people who make them, take care of them. Is that right? But we don't.
Now is not the time for a meltdown, Jen.
My name is Jess. Louise. It's on my student pass and my name badge at work, but our names don't really matter, do they? Shift supervisor, delivery associate, barista on call, cheap girls turned into cheap workers dependent on cheap food and cheap clothes to work for cheap money. All the beautiful trees. For this, we have to share what we've got, student cards or not, or it will be deserted streets, new diseases, no transport, no one coming. We'll all be wearing masks because the air isn't safe to breathe, get sick, call for help, no one is coming because they're just struggling to survive. The apocalypse is already happening. I wanted to feel part of something, but it's only doing what you believe is right that you find your place. It isn't here. I'm leaving, Professor. Today. Yes, that's what I wanted to say. But I'm going out through the front with the others.
Jess,
Let her go. She's right.
Jess heads back through the sewage to the protest. Rosa and Lou climb into the ventilation duct, and so long as Rosa goes first, and Lou keeps reminding herself that she has no choice, they crawl along the gently sloping channel. It reaches a traverse section, stretching out on one side to microbiology and engineering, on the other towards the university's museum, one of the world's leading collections of treasures from Egypt and Sudan. They keep tunneling along and under Lou's blueprint of the building. They follow their noses, navigating to the main atrium by the smell of the blocked drains. At last, they hear the singing of the extension rebels. Soon, they will crawl under the glass atrium floor itself, through wiring and pipes, into the street. Briefly visible, Lou will press her fingers against her own glass ceiling to drag herself out. If she dies here, she thinks, her final moments, in a glass coffin, will be live streamed on Instagram by students.
you can do this. Give me your hand.
There's no time.
5 minutes. El espacio está muy restringido. Wait. You breathe. You okay?
I can't breathe.
We talk. Other things.
How did you get out of Mexico?
On a plane?
Sorry. I thought...
Under a wall. Through dirty pipes, like here.
My mum was a cleaner. I worked as a cleaner all the time. I was a student here. I had a full grant, but it didn't cover holidays. I didn't want to go home for fear I would never get back. But can you understand?
Sí. Puedo entender mucho más de lo que puedo hablar.
Sorry.
Puedo entender.
And then... Here, like French. Per entendre, you understand.
Mucho más.
Much, more... You understand more than you can speak?
Muy bien.
For the first time since they have met, Lou chooses her words. Because she understands words have roots. She cannot learn Spanish in 5 minutes. But in 30 seconds, she can learn to communicate.
Okay, so I came here as a student because I wanted to come to London.
Sí, yo también.
I wanted to come to this university because it had non-conformist history. It was first university in this country to allow Catholics, Jewish people to study, long time ago. And me, I was a bad kid at school. I didn't work hard.
Okay.
But I wanted to learn to be different. I wanted to come here and try. I came on the coach for my interview, long journey from my hometown, many hours. There was a binmen strike.
Binmen?
Street cleaners collect big sacks of rubbish on the road.
Hombres de la basura. ¿Hubo una huelga de basureros?
I had the address of a squat in King's Cross where I could stay. I don't know how to translate that. At my interview, I got into an argument with the professor.
Me puedo imaginar.
But they offered me 2 E's at A-level. I can't explain that to you, and you wouldn't get that now. I mean, no student today would get that.
You very clever?
No. Yes, but more I was lucky that I was a bit clever at a much different time. See? It was potential, not grades, not where you came from, but where you might go.
Afortunada.
See? A door opened and led to the rest of my life. And now I'm in a position to potentially make a difference to others. I feel
Culpable. También me siento culpable. In 2008,
you were in the strike at SOAS.
I was 19. The big meeting was after my shift. I went to the toilet to wash my hands. I escucho los sonidos, big boots. They lock the big doors. Los guardias fronterizos, los oducos. Women scream, cry, big shouting. They fight, panic. And I hide in an out-of-order blocked toilet. These women, who are my sisters, my mothers and aunts, my friends, scream as the men pull. I hear fingers scrape on doors. Mi amiga María, que está embarazada.
Embarrassed?
Mi amiga. María, escuché que tuvo un aborto espontáneo en el campo de deportación. I can't translate.
Maria lost her baby. Fuck.
I go back to Mexico. I am 21. Then after my daughter is 2 years, I train teacher. No job, I come back. I imagine every day my daughter is here with me.
She's not here.
Soon, God willing, I have enough money, she will come. Jesus was the oldest cleaner at SOAS. He was working for the university maybe 10 years, and before he had been politically active in Chile. He was my friend, and he was the one who contacted Unison and persuaded after a long time que se afiliaran los limpiadores a SOAS. He led campaign for living wage contra los oducos.
Rosa, you keep saying Los Soducos. Sojuco, not our cleaning firm.
Sí, outsource company, cleaning, security, deportation.
Sojuco had the SOAS contract.
No, SOAS cleaners, they were all in-house 2008. Soduco was there for border force contract with G4S.
Fuck.
Yes.
So Jesus was a real person?
Yes, of course real. Jesus Gonzalez. No one knows his age, but maybe 65.
And you thought he was living in our basement?
No, not really. I don't know. No one knows. Soducos take all the cleaners to the immigration center, but then one day, Jesus is not there. Some say his heart broke, or he died on the repatriation flight and they covered it up because of insurance. Some say he escaped the deportation center and they covered this up too.
What do you think?
I heard he made a uniform from his bed cover and pretends he is contract cleaner. He works every day cleaning the immigration center toilets. He changed his name, his English is good. He does this every day and see his chance to escape. It's incredible, no?
Oh no.
Suddenly, from above, the sound of heavy boots in pounding formation, fat men in bulky jackets, visors, utility batons extended. It's 6:25 a.m. and Mr. Blunt's army are moving in to clear the building. The screaming begins. Rosa scrambles forward, hauling herself under the floor. She bangs on the glass. 2 layers of toughened glass beneath the floor of the urban centre atrium is darkened by boots.
No! Stop! Not again! They cannot get away with it this time. You are the chief. They are students. What about Jess? I think she pays a lot of money to be student here, and if she is thrown out, she loses her money. It's big price for believing, no? And you believes? You can stop this.
Rosa, please. We're almost out. I can speak to Malcolm Blunt, but you have to keep moving.
You calling los oducos? You did this?
It's not like that.
Clean up your precious building. Jess will be in trouble with university and lose her job in the press, and I will lose my job, so you can get yours?
No, we can resolve this. They're not police. They work for us.
Us! They work for the money. I'm going to help Jess.
If you do, and Blunt sacks you, I can't control what he does.
You can't control me either.
Left alone, Lou forces her way through the crawl space, through claustrophobia, looking upwards as the heavy boots seem to stamp and crush her face. The glass protects her glass ceiling. This is her border. She feels nothing.
I think, because I can see through it, that it isn't there. But my border is solid. From outside, you can see me moving my mouth, but no one can hear.
Beneath the jerks and reverberations of real violence, she feels no pain. She writhes and squirms, kicking herself towards freedom. Is it then her foot touches a stray electric wire, causing a short through the intricate electrics? No one knows. As she hits the street and gets signal, her phone pings over the students screaming. Lou screams out of the waste pipe into the London rain. In February 2020, the university agreed to the IWGP demands on sick pay, promising to address this with the outsourcing contractors. In March 2020, coronavirus reached London. Students were sent home, lecturers and university staff furloughed. To concentrate resources on its medical science research in the service of the national effort to find a vaccine, medical researchers here designed a new, cheaper ventilator. One of the most important things to enable this to happen was cleaners, who continued to work. Deep cleaning labs in communal areas without adequate PPE, mostly without PPE at all, and of course, without guaranteed sick pay or their continued employment being resolved. As non-essential libraries, museums, arts and humanities were shut, less cleaners were needed. No longer directly employed and dependent on SOJUCO contracts, excess people were simply laid off, without income, pension, or any chance of contracts now.
On furlough, I work from home. I collaborate with colleagues via Teams meetings hosted by Simon, our Urban Centre's new director. He's drawing up an efficiency plan. I drink too much, particularly on Thursdays. Then I go outside and clap the key workers. And I would give anything to go back to that night, to being drunk and excited for the next day, still believing change was coming thanks to good fucking intentions and design. On that night, I should have fucking listened to my student and talked to my cleaner and taken their hands and walked down together, and I would have said to all those young women milling around in the atrium, enough! I'll use my power to stand down SOJUCO. Jess will take over the live stream, one voice among many, to all the assembled guests. We launch our future in protest.
This is the moment we've been waiting for, to take us away, back to the theatre. We started this journey together. First, the students went. The cleaners were laid off. Staff were sent home. Theatres closed. The West End crumbled. But I am still here. I am the play, and I can take us together back to the beginning, back to where we yearn to go. The stage, a curtain of fire, billowing smoke, and 3 women together. Behind them, the building is burning. I am the wasteland and full of the voices you haven't heard.
Education is a process of challenge, not a product. And if you are not learning, I am not learning.
And none of us are learning unless all of us are free to teach and learn.
What even is a university?
What are the walls and these buildings for?
When we rebuild, this department will also be a cleaning company.
This cleaning company provides English lessons and it provides work so that the cleaners can study and the students can earn.
A cooperative with English lessons and a nursery school and other universities, other cleaning companies, they hire us.
Outside, superstar academic Simon Blunt, headhunted by the university and waiting for his moment to be parachuted into the limelight, is the first to notice the building is on fire as the flood waters short-circuit the electrics and the tower of hoarded toilet paper ignites. Malcolm Blunt retrieves his flaming sleeping bag and finds a quiet place to phone and make up with his ex-wife.
What use the keep cup or refillable water bottle when the workforce is disposable? Reducing waste to zero must mean people matter more.
In a small market garden in the foothills of the Andes, Jesus Gonzalez digs vegetable compost into his crops. He hums a protest song from his youth. He knows that nothing starts as waste, and we all turn to waste in the end.